your program, out of all other news programs, some had 1 point something or some had 1 point. He said yours was 4 point something or other, on ratings.
Right.
And then the next one, he had it for 2 days. He said the next one, he said, my director called me and he said, Musa. He said, man, the next thing was 5 point something or other. He said, each one of your programs by itself on Channel 2 was more than all the other news programs combined. If you put this one together, there's 4 or 5 o'clock news, it had 1 point something. Put down, it had 1 point something. He said yours was 4 point something or other, and the next one was 5 point something or other. So, those were the days of Deutsche Welle, German news coming by, Russian news coming by, Japanese news coming by. They were going to use their media against us, like they might do the National Negro or somebody.
Right.
And the National Negro get on there and apologize. I didn't mean, oh Lordy, I didn't mean, anyway, I ain't gonna say, I swore off of that. But everybody will apologize to the Israelis. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
They wind up, we're sorry.
Yeah.
Not us. What you talking about? You must be crazy. And they can't stand that. Because that means out of all the pressure that they put on people, it don't work on us. And that is bad news. So they gotta stop that, because if people saw all the stuff they was doing to try to crush us, and then we just sitting back like, that ain't no pressure, that's normal. Then they lose effectiveness. So we already defeated the Zionists in the media. We defeated them badly, okay? So now, they try to mainly use all those points, but the other point is that we have been so effective in what we do, we've neutralized all of the Zionists. So the only way they can be successful is just keep us out of the news. They had third wave and they had jihad and all that. They distributed 28 million free CDs and videos in America. Yeah, this was 87, 2007. Obama came in, 2008, right? This is the year before that.
Yeah.
This was during that period. Because they had the news. The news was by here, they was doing a couple of interviews. Then down at the Willard Hotel, Brother Abdul Haq and I went down there for an interview. And they said, we're independent. They told us we're independent news network. I said, okay, independent. I'm thinking about NPR and something. Yeah. I went down there, they got several rooms, and I see all the camera stuff out there. I said, man, y'all not independent, you ABC or something like that. Yeah, we're on loan to an independent company. I say, gotcha. So I already know the fix is in. So now the people with the earphones on doing all that is the guys. They're about my age and Abdul Haq's age. You know, it's not a party, Abdul Haq. And I know how to jive with white folks, especially my age. So I'm dropping, and I do it all the time with them. So I'm doing it with these guys, they're not moving at all. They don't want to hear it. Either they don't know what I'm talking about, or Abdul Haq said they're not responding because they're Israelis. so they don't get, you know, like the old white folks my age, they don't get, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in other words, and plus, they ain't no smile. This nigga is our target. You know what I mean? And they're not, whatever they doing, they're not happy about nothing. You can't make them laugh. You know what I mean? You can't get them to lower their guard a little bit. Like even at Fox News. When I was up there, all the cameramen, they doing their stuff. So you used to be a drug dealer. I said, I dealt mainly cocaine and marijuana. And I dealt good cocaine. I didn't deal the best cocaine. And so I'm watching the guys. They all, you know, they probably, so under their nose wasn't running. But I'm telling you, you know what I mean? You can pick up stuff.
Right.
So I'm letting them know, yeah, I wasn't no Negro cocaine dealer. I supplied raw, pure cocaine.
I guess they were leaning in on the conversation.
Oh no, they was in on it. They there because they New Yorkers.
Yeah.
They're in the media, they're camera. What else they gonna do with their money besides a little smoke and a little cocaine? But anyway, the point is that the Israelis had to be forced back. You got to remember, the Israelis have had bad luck with us. Remember I talk about LA sometime when the Jews, the rabbi come running up talking about, you're a hater, you know. The time it was an Iranian Jewish guy said, what is A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim? Do you know? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, that time, that was in UCLA. That was Rabbi Chaim. I heard his spirit so bad that the other Jewish kids was crying. And some of the other Muslims, which was off the town, they were actually crying. I said, that's great. I said, they tear gas us, blow us upside the head, take our property, and so it's fine. And UC Berkeley, before that, we had the Triangle of Terror. Israel, South America, USA. Yeah. South Africa, USA. We didn't have Saudi Arabia on that. And the Jews come, and we had the flyers going all around. They come in mass, and everybody gets scared, you know. And they used to get scared of me because, like, once we was at UC Davis, this was a long time, this was 85. So the Jews put out a letter about all the good things they've done in history. So they said, Imam Musa, this is what they put out, all that. So when I started, I just said, give me that list. I looked at the list and I went down. I said, all the good things you've done. In 1935, when Mussolini was poison gassing the Ethiopians and the Somalis, they begged the Zionist Congress to help, and you told them basically to go to hell. You know, and I went on down the list like that, and then I took the list and threw it out in the crowd. Everybody said, that's a bad nigga there. You know, they from, hey, you talking about the Arabs and all of them, they were shocked. Because we never deal with the Zionists on their level. Well, we took a little land, but they didn't do this, and we don't deal with them on that like that. We just call you just a bunch of criminals. You're a Nazi. You're practicing Nazism. You're the Gestapo, like they did the Jews, like the Jews was done in Germany. That's the way you do the Palestinians. Exactly. And that's all we talk about them on. We don't try to answer that question. You'd be crazy. What about this? I don't know nothing about that. Here's what I do know about. So anyway, let's get back to what happened is, what's happening in America right now not that America has failed, but the Zionists have failed. Remember, they were only 70%. Why would we say that? We talked about it before. Remember, we're on point on all of this stuff. Remember the president down at the White House walked across to that little church where we was down there, and everybody was, and he held up the Bible that time. Okay, when he held up the Bible, at the same time, he tear gassed a lot of the demonstrators. Okay, then he went across to the church, right? And then later on, he had the general, 4-star general, walk out there. Okay, where does the failure come in? Remember a few days later, Colin Powell, Mad Dog Mattis, all the generals said, we are not for that. We uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. Now you got to remember, all of those generals, you know how they are in the military, they follow the chain of command. Now, okay, Colin Powell was Secretary of State, but he was also head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, right? And then Mad Dog Mattis was a 4-star general, right? So it goes on down. So from the very top, you remember, they look up, they still look up to their original, and so the Zionists failed because the national disruption that they wanted to start by killing that brother, and then another suspicious killing come up a few days later down in Atlanta, right? Why would they do that unless something is wrong? It don't make sense. Okay, and then the girl, the white girl that set Wendy's on fire, they was mentioning her name when he was there asleep. And then if he was so asleep, I know adrenaline will wake you up, but that boy was throwing pretty good punches. And he headed on off, and he didn't run like, when you that drunk where you can't hardly, anyway. Right. I done seen drunks before get arrested. They're drunk when they arrest them, and they stay drunk. When they go down to the jail, they lay out drunk. And there ain't nothing that wakes them up when you're that drunk. Okay, even a little adrenaline. But anyway, they lost. Here's how they lost. They lost because, number one, they was not able to start a racial incident in the United States. Number two, they lost because the focus, their own idiocy, returned their focus to the Zionists. Number three, the world is against the transfer of that property in occupied Palestine to Netanyahu. He's falling apart, so that virus that is killing all of that stuff. Donald Trump started with the virus. Excuse me. Assalamu alaikum.
Do you have a refrigerator downstairs? Does it still work?
No, what's wrong? Is the refrigerator not working at the house?
No, I'm trying to buy refrigerators to take to college.
Oh, okay. Don't worry. I'll call you back later. We'll go down to wait a minute. Are y'all gonna fly up there?
Yeah, we have to order this stuff online.
And you can have it delivered up there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, I don't have one downstairs. You could buy it up there when you get to college. But I'll talk to you in a few minutes. I'm doing a program right now. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. So, anyway. So, what we have done is we've nullified the whole Zionist approach. The whole Zionist approach has been a failure. Failure to start interracial warfare, because what it did was it made everybody like Negroes, right? And then part of their whole plan was to bring out all of the white folks. There's a herd mentality. In order to bring out millions of people, all you have to do is have hundreds of them strategically located, and they'll bring out, each one of them bring out thousands, and that's what they do. They got them strategically located. So the demonstrations showed a picture of America that could exist. Remember, we have always said 25% of those people are ours. 25. They're good people. Okay. 25. So I'm going to pick up a little bit. The Israelis have failed on every level. They've only been 30% effective. They was effective to get people to come out and run around and da-da-da-da-da, but they were not effective in getting what we said from our other lectures, that Hitlerian effect with Donald Trump is gone. He can't do that. Now, Hitler was able to start World War II. He got millions of people killed. Donald Trump, if he would have played his cards right or wrong, he could have got the world into a big tragedy. You got to see, that's where he was headed. That's where he was headed. Even the silly white folks know that he's trying to start, they say he's the great divider in chief, to divide up the American people when America needs a unifier, right? So he failed on that. Okay, on the military point, to get the army on his side, the military on his side, failed. Because the big army brass said, man, we ain't into that. We're not going to support you or your administration. And even that big general is still on duty now. He issued a statement that I apologize for that. We're not, he's active duty now. I apologize for that. I'm not going to be used. With the military, it's not going to be used for any of that. Okay. All of that is big. So they failed on the Zionist part, or they've exposed themselves. That who's behind all of this? Is it the Americans or is it the Zionists? It's the Zionists. And they failed in a good way.
Yeah, good way, yeah.
No, here's good. They have unified. Now you got to remember now, where are we at in America? And then think about where we are too. Where are we at in America? Who are our allies? Think about who we talk about as allies all the time. And we're supposed to be so downright revolutionary and wanting everybody to disappear, but we're always talking about America the good. America the good. So we have to think about our message to America. It's not that. Our message to America from our duas that we made, right? Allah gave us, we wanted a fiasco in crisis management, we got it in spades. We got more than what we asked for. So you can't say, man, what do we do now? No, we got what we wanted now. Here's what we have to do. Okay? So our message is to preach the message of healing to America. Now remember America. The picture of America, I'm not talking about the America that brought us here as slaves and took all the land from the Indians. I'm not talking about America that's downright murderous to this very day. I mean, I'm not talking about that America. I'm talking about the possibility of America when the Quran says about us, you will be judged by the best of your deeds. Okay, the best of American deeds is not behind it. It's not, but now going forward. America needs freeing and it needs liberation. Liberation from who? It's pretty much clear that America, its policies in the Middle East, its wars, Saudis having them kill Yemenis, with Iran, with the invasion of Iraq, all of that is from the Israelis. The Israelis keep that part of the world divided, fighting and killing each other. And whatever we do is fine. Okay. So our message, we have to make use of all this clownery and buffoonery. And it's insane. I mean, I don't know if you listen to the news today, but I'll go back and listen to it again and over again. Why? It's so ridiculous. And nobody knows why it's this messed up. Nobody, we have to tell them. But this is all of America. Now, this is where it gets a little sticky. We have always talked about kindness, forgiveness, love, compassion, and all of that. We've talked about America the good, not America the great.
Right.
So now is the time that our message is a message of healing for the American people. Healing for the American people. When I say the American people, that means all of the American people. And that means that old world that we was living in, now all the stuff we've been talking, when we talk about